Hey guys, welcome to the Remaining Sane Finding Peace in Our Chaos podcast. I'm Will, your host and a current police officer. This podcast is a deeper exploration into both police work and the Christian faith. I'll be interviewing a vast array of individuals, from professors to other police officers and even some clergy. The third episode is with a combat veteran and longtime police officer, Ed Buckman. Here is a quick snippet of our interaction. Well, I want to go back to one thing that you mentioned, is that the way that God worked for you in order to lead him to you, there's a lot of very small things that happen in your life that eventually lead up to this, I don't want to say just a conversion experience, or there's a whole lot of different terminology that we can bring. But I think that is something that I've noticed as a theme in Christian, or in, I don't want to say just satanic walks, but in walks away from Christ. That I can't remember what this quote's from, but the quote is, bankruptcy happens very slowly and all of a sudden. Very momentous things in our lives, for the most part, don't happen just all of a sudden. There's very small things that build up to those. And as police officers, as what I have posited earlier, that if we are not centered on Christ, we are going to fall into nihilism or cynicism or substance abuse. And, that substance abuse is not necessarily drugs or even alcohol. It can be video games, pornography, just any kind of substance that's able to create a bunch of dopamine for us so that we don't think about the problems around us. And going off of that, a lot of us, we don't wake up thinking that, man, today's the day I'm going to cheat on my wife. That's my goal. Or, I want to get addicted to oxycodone. That's not something that we think of. But there are small decisions that we make each and every day that eventually lead us down that path if we don't fix it earlier, right? And the farther we get into sin, the harder it is to get out of it. And one of the things that you do is that you help out the police union where we're at. Right now you're the president of one of our police unions. And so if you wouldn't mind, I don't want you to say people in particular, but I know that working with 300 odd officers, is that about where
our union covers two different local agencies with a total of about 500 officers, 200 from our agency.
So you've seen this, this decline or even this roller coaster. And I would suspect that with police officers, the roller coaster is even more exaggerated. I've heard that being a police officer is a lot like taking testosterone. People say that you can take testosterone. If you're a happy person, you become extremely happy. If you're an angry person, you become extremely angry. This job is the same way mentally. If you're already a joyful person, this job can make you more joyful. But if you're already a depressed person, you're going to become extremely depressed. Yep. So what are some of the ways that you have safeguarded yourself against falling into a lot of the sin that we see, unfortunately, a lot of our brothers and sisters fall into?
And I think having that relationship with Jesus has been the primary tool that I've used to veer away from that. But it's extremely hard that when we are consumed with negativity, that we see that really the most negative aspects of the world on a daily basis. There is that propensity to fall into that darkness. When I was training younger patrol officers, I was an FTO for quite a while, and it reminded me of the negativity, the department, the issues, the drama. It was like Venom, the Black Spider-Man, and it would creep into your life, and it would creep into my life. It wasn't necessarily, and there's been times where I know that I was drinking too much. There was times where negativity would consume 90% of my time. And so I don't believe any of us are impervious to that aspects of this job. but getting back to baseline, getting back to the good, healthy habits, I think is one of the tools. Building the team around you, I've always found very valuable about surrounding yourself with people that bring in light to your life, especially in this job. But being in church, having the most amazing wife, and I'm not just saying that. It really, when I can come home and she can sort through my nonsense and she can say, call truth to the table, allow me to call truth to the table. It's just refreshing. So her, good group of individuals, good, healthy habits, daily habits in my life, have really helped me. Touching on the union stuff, seeing what other people have gone through, and like you said, it's that bankruptcy, it's the X factor, it's the bad day when I usually get that phone call extreme financial hardship or divorces, whatever it might be. I'm getting a lot of those kind of phone calls, peer support, critical incident debrief, or the union. It gives me insight to this is where that path happens, that slow creep in. I see that.
Thanks for listening. If you want to hear more, check out the entire episode on August 11th on most podcasting platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss it. Enjoy.